All right, hello, this is Mark Soberman with NetPicks. Thanks for joining me today on this video. I promise that we've got something very effective, very hard-hitting that you can use immediately in your trading. So it's definitely worth a few minutes to go through this video. Just a real quick thing from me, just so you know, NetPicks has been around since 1996. I've personally been trading since back in the 1980s, so now I'm seriously dating myself. But there's definitely some things that I've learned along the way about succeeding and also failing in trading. And I wanted to share one of those tips with you here today. You can see a link to our trading tips blog that I highly recommend that you go to. There's no charge. It's free. Our entire coaching team posts some really great advice in this blog about trading and approaches to trading, and even sometimes some life stories and things of that nature. So well worth looking at. But I wanted to talk to you today about what I'm going to call an incredible, amazing trade innovation. You definitely want to brace yourself for this. It's going to be like nothing you've ever seen. Okay, that's a lot of hype, but really what it is what you see on the screen, a blank piece of paper, a blank screen, however you want to do it. So my hype obviously aside, it's really the tick sheet. And what is a tick sheet? A tick sheet's when you go like this, right? 1, 2, 3, a couple on this side. You may think, okay, well, you just told me that this was going to be an amazing trade innovation. I'm expecting a robot that's going to power my account from $100 to $1 million in 30 days or less. Well, there's obviously a lot of things out there like that. You guys are probably sick of all that. Nothing exists like that. So I wanted to really pass along to you something that has really dramatically helped me in my trading throughout the years. And the way that I used to approach trading is I would first develop a strategy or a system. I would test it on paper, and I would keep a tick sheet to basically determine, as I walked along and progressed in the chart, how many winners and losers I was getting. And I found a lot of times when I finally developed something good, my tick sheets would look like something like this. Maybe in a given day, 3 winners and then a loss. And then I would do, the next day, and I'd have 2 winners, and then I would quit with no losses. And the next day I'd have, a couple winners, couple losers, and then all of a sudden I would get hot with like a couple winners, and boom, again I'd have another winning day, another winning day, another winning day. This was all great. Then unfortunately I would go and I would start to trade this system and this strategy, and none of this actually happened in real life. I would end up basically losing sometimes lots of money, but almost without a doubt, inevitably, I would never be able to replicate what was happening in my testing. And I always kind of wondered, well, why? I mean, what am I missing here that is just for some reason not transferring to my actual trade results? And I absolutely know that some of you, I'm going to gander and probably guess that most of you are experiencing this right now, that you start with something on paper that seems good, you go to the live markets, and you never pull the results that you're expecting, even based upon if you're patient, and a lot of us aren't. Even if you did a lot of testing, most people just rush right in. That's a whole nother lesson, and that's a bad story altogether. But even if you spend some time and prepare, you still end up with what looks, as you can see here, a pretty messy overall screen. So let's wipe the slates clean, and let's talk about this one really approach that I think can really transform your trading. Now, you have to start with a good strategy. If you don't have a strategy or a system that you believe in, that on paper is effective, at NetPicks, that's our whole reason for being. We develop these strategies and systems and provide those. They're proven in the markets, they're proven in real time, in many cases over thousands and then eventually tens of thousands of trades. You got to have that confidence, so we're not going to be talking necessarily about that here, but once you've got what you believe is an effective system, what you need to get away from is trying to determine, hey, what is my win-loss percentage on this system? Because it's very, very difficult to actually trade in real time exactly like you would when you're just testing or back testing or going through it on a simulation. Okay, the reason for that is that we completely influence and change the real outcome of our trades. And this is what I personally started to find. I found that even without realizing it, I was continually breaking the rules of my system. So I would have a rule that I was not supposed to trade at a certain time of the day. Let's say like a 10 o'clock New York time. Don't take a new setup within a minute before or a minute after. Well, I would break the rule and I would end up with a loser. Okay, then I would have situations where I would say, you know what, I'm tired of slippage. I'm going to place a stop limit on my protective stop because it's crazy. I keep giving up all this extra ticks of money to the market. Well, sure enough, the trade goes by and it zips right through the stop limit. Yeah, it's a loser, but not only is it a loser, it's a worse loser. I lose 10 cents on a contract instead of 1 cent. And that's a big difference. $10 or $100 times multiple contracts. Now I start to dig myself a hole, and I start to actually have to trade extra trades because maybe the next trade's a winner, but because I kind of got greedy and used that stop limit and didn't get out and had to bail out much later, I now have to trade extra. So then that extra trade turns into be a loser. And then what happens? I hit my trading deadline cutoff. What do I do then? Well, I'm kind of mad at that point, right? I feel like I kind of screwed myself, on the day. So I'm going to start the revenge trade cycle. And what the revenge trade is, I say, Mark, just get yourself one winner. It'll feel good, and you can walk away for the day. What happens? Loser. Now I'm starting to really dig the big hole. So then I'm like, you know what? I normally trade 2 contracts. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to, odds are in my favor now. Yeah, I'm not trading the time that I should. Yeah, I broke my rules. I'm going to double up. What happens? Loser. Loser. Okay, now I've basically turned what may have been an okay day into a disaster. Now, when I go back at the end of the day, I go my normal tick sheet, and I say, how did the system do? And I realize, okay, had a winner to start. Then it had that loser, remember, that stopped out and gave me a much bigger stop because I got greedy. Okay, that was the loser. And then the very next trade won. Okay, let's say. But in my case, because I took, let's say, the big loser here, I wasn't positive at that point, so I had to continue on with the trade. And that is about the worst circle ever. But anyway, you get the idea. I was trying to circle that. So now all of a sudden I end up and I dig myself this hole, and my real outcome maybe should have been 2-1, or who knows, maybe even 3-2. Maybe it took a little bit more, and then I would have been done. And maybe I was only up $50. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's all that there was. That was all that could be gotten here. This is like 5th grade crayons with this thing. Let's try this. All right, that's $50. At any rate, you get the idea, right? Need better tools. All right, so like I said, this is state of the art, right? You can see that by how I draw on the screen. So what you need to do, this is the big lesson here. And I know this seems simple, but I guarantee you none of you are doing this. You need to go back and instead of keeping track of winners or losers while you're trading in real time, do a tick sheet for I followed the system accurately. Yes, I followed the system accurate, but I had a losing trade. It still goes on the winning side. I followed it accurately. Yes. Yes. Okay, the moment you break a rule, even if it's a winning trade, and we all do this, we do something stupid and then it works out, and we're like, of course, thinking we're trading geniuses until the next 10 times we try the same thing and it blows up in our faces. But even if it's a winning trade and you broke the system rules, it goes on this side of the ledger, right? It goes on the right side, the losing side. And let's just say in this case I had a losing trade, but you know what? I forgot a rule and I let the trade go at a certain time that I should never trade. Loser, okay? Let's say I had a winning trade, but I took it at 5 minutes after my normal cutoff because I just had that feeling, that gut instinct, and it won. It does not go on this side. It goes on this side. What you're going to find out is your tick sheet's going to look a lot like this. Hopefully, right, it's above 50%, because if it's below 50%, wow, you're really just kind of killing yourself when you're trading. But people are going to look at this and go, hey, if I had like, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 3 or something like this, and 3, that's 75%. This is wrong. You need to have 100% of your trades on the left side. Now, yes, they're going to be made up of winners and losers, but if you're not accurately following your trade system, you have no chance in the world of succeeding because there's commission, there's slippage, and you will on occasion make a literal straight-on mistake, even with best intentions of following the rules. So if you're not literally over here, like on all these trades, 9, 12, 12 ticks over here and none over here, even if it's 11 and 1, I almost guarantee you that you're going to be staring down a losing day, a losing week, a losing month, until you can get to the point where you can win or loss, have 100% on the left side of the ledger saying, I follow the system regardless of the outcome, all my rules were met, winner or loser. You absolutely will not be able to replicate that system successfully in real time. So very basic, very simple. It's a tick sheet, no crazy indicator, no crazy programming. You do this, I guarantee you, your trading can be transformed literally overnight. All right, so have a good one. Come back to our Trading Tips blog and we've got a lot more to share with you there.